Okay, so I'm just going to go over a couple of ways on how to shrimp, how to use frames and how to apply shrimps and hip escapes, how to use your frames, how to use your shrimps, and just go over some basic drills on how to teach it too. So the basic drill that everyone sees is where people just lie on the floor and they do lines up the mat and they just shuffle around and they do this and they push and push and push without any sort of understanding why they're doing those drills. They just sort of go through it. So there's several ways to hip escape. You can do more than one way of shrimping, or more than one way of hip escaping. Depends on the situation that you're in. So I'm just going to go over a couple of different ways to do it, and then you can sort of pass them on. One of the hard things to teach with hip escapes is to get the people to move their bodies in the right way. So we're trying to teach how to move your body in the correct way to shrimp and to hip escape. So the first drill that I generally do before I get to lie down and do shrimping drills up and down the mat, I'll explain the posture. So the best way I found to teach this to begin with is I'll go to what we call like a chill out position. So I'm just going to post one hand on the floor, bend the opposite leg, put my elbow to my knee, put my hand up as if I'm going to do like a technical stand up, put my hand up like stop, and I'm going to go to here. So this is my straight leg for now. I'm going to go here. I'm going to really exaggerate the hip movement. So I'm going to turn and really exaggerate it. Okay, so I'm going to turn to face the floor. Now I'm going to push off the bent leg. Now, when you push off the bent leg, ordinarily you'll drag this sort of straight leg. But we're going to rechamber it to do onto the hip escape onto the opposite side. So the mechanics goes like this. So I'm going to go here. So I'm going to push, bend this leg. So now as I change, it automatically puts me into this position. So I turn, hip escape, all the way through, and I go here. So it's a really easy way to teach people how to hip escape. You just do lines up the gym. First one, post on your hand. Bent leg, elbow in, and we're here. Turn to face the floor, really exaggerate, and I'm going to try and get my hips that way as I face this way. So I'm going to push, and then I'm going to chamber this leg, so the leg positioning changes. Change, and I move to here. Now these mechanics are going to stay the same regardless of the post here. So this is the first set that I generally teach. I will get them to do first hand on first lap, post on the floor. The second set I do is I'll do the exact same mechanics. Start here, so chill out position. I'm sure I've stole off Chris Payne's or someone. So I'm going to go here. Now instead of having my hand on the floor, I'm going to drop to my elbow. So now I'm here. So everything's the same. I'm still teaching my body to move in the correct way. I'm still framing, protecting my hands from here, but I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to push and rechamber. Push, rechamber. Each time, moving my hips. Okay? So first one we do is backwards, hand posting, then elbow. And now once I'm happy that people have got that, we'll move on to one of the shoulder down variations. So hand, elbow, shoulder. Okay, so the only thing that's changing is the post. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so everything's the same. So now I'm going to drag my hips again, the rechambering of the leg. Here, change. So again, I'm used to bringing this knee in. Push, change. Push, change. So each time, rechambering this leg. Okay, so there's another option with that we add on, which our coach Ollie likes to do. So here, push, push, change. Okay, we go to doubles. Push, push. So again, making more space. So that's the backward one. Now, if we add into that as well, we can add into the bridge. So, the option, these are the really effective one, and again it's situational. So I'll bring my feet in, I'm going to bridge from here, and as I bridge, I'm going to hip escape out. Come back in, bridge, hip escape out. Okay? So each time I'm making space, I'm getting into position as well from there. So that's the backwards. Now these are all the same when we go forward. The aim for the hip escapes is to create space and to get into space, make room and get into better position. So when I'm here, we go here, okay? So what we're doing now is we're going to go reverse. So I'm going to start everything the same. Post the same, everything the same. But this time now I'm going to bring my hips towards my feet. When I go backward, I'm trying to take my hips away from my feet. Here, this time I'm doing the opposite. So I'm going to go here and bring myself in. So these come into footlock and jiu-jitsu and things, but for now, we're just going to get our hips trained correctly. So as I go in, I'm going to post, grab almost with my toes, my little monkey feet. I'm going to pull myself forward. Change, pull, and pull. Okay, so that's same principles as before. From the hand, now onto the elbow. It's the same thing. Bring my hips towards my feet. Here, turn, rechamber, pull, rechamber each time. And of course, last one that people struggle with, here. And that's the same thing. Hips, hips, hips. Okay, that's what a lot of people struggle with. They're the main sort of drill ones that you do up and down the mat. They're ones you see people doing a lot more in the lineups for warm-ups. Another one that people use, again it's situational, depends on the situation you're in and how your part's holding you or what your purpose for the hip escape is. They also go from here. So whereas I go here, and I have one leg straight from here. Some people like to do it with both feet. So they'll go here and hip escape. Both feet in, hip escape, both feet in and hip escape. Okay, that's fine. I tend to find it restrictive, but some people find it stronger. It's worth having a play, see which one suits you. Another way that we like to drill this is with a partner, where your partner will stand into your armpits. So to begin with, you can be quite kind to your partner and stand sort of by the sort of ribs, have fairly loose, give them a little bit of practice to sort of move, and then I'll do frame, both hands onto one shin, and then I'll bend one leg. I guess some people will do two legs, both feet down. My both two legs can go on the floor from here, and I can hip escape out and go flat again. Better steps forward, or I can put one leg down and hip escape out. Once I've got that okay, and my hips are nice and tuned in and getting there, so you're going to step up a little bit tighter, straight into my stinky armpits. And I do the same thing. I do my both two legs or one leg. Okay, so I'm going to go here, clear my hips, come back in, steps forward. And it gives me a practice of using the application of the hip escape rather than just doing mindless drills up and down the mat. Because my glamorous assistant comes on. So if we look at one of the reasons for hip escape, if I've landed here, Bev wants to pass my legs, so she wants to get past my guard. Okay, so as soon as she pushes my legs in, she clears the connections from my feet to hips, so I'm not playing guard now, she's disconnected. As soon as she gets past here, I'm going to go to the leading edge here. So it's completely stolen off Stephen Kessin's terminology. The hand that's nearest is going to go here, depending how quickly I get up. Okay, if Bev comes back for a second, if she goes here, and I can post, then I'm going to go to number one. But I'm going to post, I'm going to come back in towards Bev. So because I've got the near side, I'm going to push, hip escape, and now I'm back into here. Okay? And then I'd have my partner do the same again. Push, disconnect. It might be this time onto my elbow, because I don't quite get up quick enough from here. Okay, so that's one of the ways. If he does it the same again here, I can also go to a cross post from here and hip escape as well. So it's the same hip escape from here, just a different application. Just repeat myself one more time. If I get pushed here and as she passes, it's the near side. So I want to go here and bring myself back in to this sort of guard playing zone to here. Okay. If I go cross post here, gives me a chance now to either get back up or start again or reset. Being on the real set of pajamas you're wearing. So if I'm on the bottom, so I'm in, let's say, Munigatami. So if Bev has me here now, we'll try it from this side. So if Bev has me side troll, Munigatami, whatever pajamas you're wearing, we are here. Okay, if I just stay here, I have no frames or anything at all, I'm just gonna get crushed. She'll hold me here. If it's for judo, she'll hold me here for the required time. If it's in jiu-jitsu, she'll transition to mount or attack my arm, or she'll do horrible things to me. Well, the third thing I need to do is establish a frame here to give myself a chance of getting out. The favourite frame is I'll bring my forearm, so my wrist hits the hip bone to there, and I'll just scrape right in front of the face. If it's Bev, I'll do my very best to make it uncomfortable and painful. And I'll get my wrist sort of into the carotid there. So I'll dig here, keep my elbows nice and tight, put grips, so don't put my hands flat on people because people wrist lock you. I'll just be here and I'm locked in. So these are another application for your hip escapes. So when I go here, first application is I'm just going to wriggle. So I have a wriggly escape. I'm going to go here and I'm going to wriggle. So if you notice, my inside leg, from the same as the drill, if Bev sits up for a second, is as I was doing my drill, when I was going here, I was chambering this leg already. So you can see the application already if you get your mind trained to this. Here, I've got my frame. We take this step out. This would be my sort of dragging straight leg, but as I re-chamber, I bring my leg in here. So now I've already got some kind of frame here. So if Bev starts to push squash, at least now I can sort of make a little bit of space, bring my guard back, and now I'm back into a closed guard. So that's the third application. Depending how strong they are and how big they are, but I'm not bigger strong than Bev, so I don't get like this. So I'm here, I hip escape. As I hip escape, I automatically bring this leg in here. So I'm looking for the hip, so I need this frame. If Bev starts to smash and full squash, here all I need to do is extend my leg and roll my wrist into the neck. And I can make some space, come back to close guard, and I'm okay there. The other application that we use is a little bit bigger and stronger, sort of equal sort of stature here. You may struggle if Bev's really super horrible mean and tight. She's in right knees tight to my hip, and she's here. This might be difficult now to sort of make some space. So now we'll go into the sort of bridge and then hip escape, which a lot of people say is the correct way to hip escape or the only way. There's lots of different reasons and ways to apply hip escapes, but you can go 2 feet in and then hip escape. As I hip escape, I can bring myself in and we go back to guard, closing, and all the rest of it. Here. I can do the same thing from here. So I'm going to push and bring this knee in. So as I bridge, I'm starting to bring this in, make my wedge, make my hook, push, make my grips, and then if I have to, I can go here. And I'll show you sort of this angle. I pull the head, we'll change that out. So here and here. So this is the frames, here and here. If I don't have these frames, I want at least one of them. Because if I'm here, I'm going to fight to get this frame in front. The frames prevent a lot of the pressure from coming down. So for Bev to put a solid Munigatami or side control, this needs to be right outside her elbow. I'm going to have no frames. She's going to have full control. Arms are nice and wrapped and tight. I've got no frames. I've got nothing to push away or resist with. My head's probably going a little bit red or purple now because she's really got good strong pressure with her bony little shoulders. I have no frames. If I'm here now, I've got to work. So the first thing I will do is hip escape. I'm going to hip escape and find a gap here. I'm not being nice about it. I'm going to bring my elbow through like I'm going to almost elbow her. So I'll put a little bit of pressure on her head with this one. As I push her that way, I start to open up a little bit of space here. So I'm going to push, hip escape, bring my elbow in here. Once I've got this frame here, as I come back, my elbow cuts behind the ear, and now I'm back again. And if Bev keeps nice, horrible tight pressure on, it's fine because she can only push so much. Because as she pushes into me, I can push back into her. When I create enough space, I make space for this leg to come back through. Okay, and of course there's arm locks and all kinds of cool things from there. But for now, Bev will recognise it. If she stays here, she knows she's going to get arm barred and things like that. So a lot of times if they know what they're doing, they'll back out, which gives me space now to bring my guard back. And then I'm here. From here to get on top, basically. Be mean and horrible and start to squash you. So I go here, I'm going to hip escape out, and as I hip escape out, put my elbow through the shoulder. Okay, this hand is staying firm onto the hip, so I'm keeping this frame, not allowing Bev to drop her left hip back down again. I'm going to go from here, keep the elbow sort of fixed, and then swim this hand through. That's the gap that I'm looking for. As soon as I get through this gap, I have to sort of explode through here and come onto my knees. Now at this point you have several options. If we turn this way slightly, we're here. My favourite option is just to pick away her structure or her post. Depending on what's happening with this hand, if she's fairly heavy with the shoulder, I will generally just pull the knees in, collapse, stay tight to the hip, go around the legs, and now we pass. And then we go from there. So the basic hip escape from there into a underhook, into being on top, and into our pins and things from there. So there's a lot of ways you can play around with it, but it's so important to get the correct movement and move from there. There's lots of ways to apply it. I think hip escaping is like the breakfalls of judo for jiu-jitsu. No one wants to do it, people just think it's pointless, but you've got to drill it, you've got to train your body to move the right way. If Bev sits here, and I take Bev back, and we're here. So, I have my seatbelt grip, and I'm here. Bev's going to fall to the side, here, and I'm going to post out. So now I'm using my hip escapes again, I'm using my hip movement again. So for me to keep control, I post out, switch my hips, and I come back. And she does the same again on this one. As she comes out, I beat it, switch my hips, and come back. And it's just horrible for the person here because they're trying to escape. I switch my hips, do my hip escapes, and we come back through. So hip escapes have got a lot of purpose. There's sneaky arm bars and things you can work from it as well. So the next one, Bev's in top mount position. So yeah, oh my God, she's so heavy. So we're here. So there's an escape from here. Obviously everyone knows the bridging and everything else from there. We'll cover that in a separate thing for bridging. But for now, for hip escape. So if Bev just takes his hand out the way slightly for now, I'm going to make a frame here. So I'm going to aim to get this elbow down to this knee. Okay. I try to avoid making pant grips and things like that. I would rather sort of make a little bit of space and bring my elbow in. So I want to contact to the thigh or by the knee. So as Bev's here, I'm going to go here, and again, pressure on. Here, I'm going to do my hip escape. So I'm going to go from here. So as I hip escape, I'm going to bring my elbow down here, and I'm going to start to push. Now my aim is to make some space here to clear this bottom leg. This can be done straight away from here, or I can bring this leg across, pull, and then now I'm going to switch my hips. As I switch my hips, this hand's going to go for the far side, here. Okay, now from here we can either get up, or I can push the leg out, bring my knees out, and come back against a closed guard. Okay, if it's judo, I get stand back up. If it's jiu-jitsu, we start playing guard passing and guard from there. So, nice and easy. Oh, you're so heavy. Oh, you've got all the dinners. So, I'm looking for the elbow, and I get a good sort of power flip to get. This is one where you can add the bridge in as well. So then as I come down, I'm keeping the frame there, hip escaping out, bringing this knee through. If the knee comes through, great. I just straighten out, then we come back out again, and we're here. Then we go into jokes and things from there. So the fundamentals of that movement, without Bev being there, is I'm going to hip escape, bring this knee through. If the knee doesn't clear, I can push it through from here, or drag, pull with this leg, and there's my hip escape again. As I frame, bring my knee out, hip escape, close my legs, close my feet, take my closed guard again. And that's another application for hip escapes. The really important drills to do. The best way to get, I found to teach them, is to do it from that chill out position first, then break it down to elbow, shoulder, the various sort of laying flat shoulder ones, and you can build in the bridges into it at another time as well. It's a really important drill. I think it's overlooked. The framing for Munigatami, side control as well. That's really, really important. I get everyone to do all of them. Fundamentals class, beginners class, warm-ups. We spend a lot of time doing hip escapes just to train the body to move in the way your body needs to move for jiu-jitsu. And obviously for Judo Newaza.